Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to our podcast where we agree
To disagree.
and where we talk about our pregnancy, which is what we've been doing lately.
It's been the talk of the town, I feel like.
But today, we're going to agree to disagree or agree to agree on how we think we'll be as parents. And we kind of wanted to wait to do this, and now you are how many weeks?
15 weeks today.
So we thought it'd be funny to record this at 15 weeks and then listen back once we actually have the baby to see how accurate or how off we are on most of these topics.
Really curious to see how this is going to go.
Okay, first one, letting people visit right after giving birth. Are you going to have people over immediately or when? How soon?
I feel like we haven't really talked about this, but yeah.
Yeah, to what?
To letting people come see the baby.
I know some people are kind of weird about that. Like, I don't know, I don't really know enough about it.
I don't think we need to just go and take the baby out. I mean, obviously we're going to probably be exhausted, but I think close friends and family, yeah.
I think this podcast will be interesting because I haven't thought of any of this stuff, and you probably have, so I don't even know if I'm going to have an opinion. But, yeah, I'm sure we'll have people come over immediately. Will people come visit at the hospital or just at home? Probably just family at the hospital.
Yeah, probably just family at the hospital, and then
Will
good to me.
you want friends and family there right away? Because I feel like
At the hospital?
Or home or to visit. I feel like you'll probably want to rest and stuff.
I mean, if someone wants to come over, I'm fine being like, yeah, come say hi. So, I mean, obviously, if I'm feeling good enough, then yeah, but...
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in the hospital, I don't know if I care to have, a bunch of friends come. I'd rather just have my family and kind of, enjoy that moment, especially with, the first one, just to really take it all in, but...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that sound good to you?
It sounds good to me. Who will do most of the diaper changing?
Jonas is, he's pointing at me for those that are going to be watching this on YouTube. He always says that, but...
I mean, I'm sure I'll learn.
There's a lot of dads that say that, though, and then, once they have kids, you just do it.
I mean, I'm sure I'll help. Obviously, I'll learn and I'll help, but I feel like that'll probably mostly be your job. No?
It's not just mostly be my job. It's we both change the diaper.
Oh, man. That's why I like Mello, because she just has a litter box. And
yeah, but
how old
you
until...
obsess over Mello, and you change her litter box, you feed her, you do all these things.
It's so easy, though.
I know,
just
but...
takes care of herself. Then she cries every once in a while, but it's because she's a baby.
I know, but I feel like you have, fallen in love with Mello, so I feel like when you have the baby, you do anything for the baby.
That's probably true.
I never take care of Mello unless you're gone. And obviously I can't change the litter box, which I never do anyway, but since I'm pregnant, I can't change the litter box.
How old until kids get potty trained?
I feel like I should know that, but I think what, is it 3 or 4?
3 years? So we have to change diapers for 3 years?
At I could be wrong. You guys, this is a whole new, I should know because I have 12 nieces and nephews, but I was so young when they were all babies. I can't remember. I think 2, almost 3.
That's crazy.
I want to say. I could be I don't know. Maybe 3, 4, I don't know. Around there somewhere.
Looks like I'm going to have to learn how to change diapers.
There's a whole lot of stuff I'm going to have to learn.
Okay, lack of sleep.
Need help with.
How are you going to function with...
Well, remember, because I like to stay up late and watch movies. Mm-hmm. So remember when I was trying to get pregnant, I'm like, how do anything, to stay up at night? If I could just be pregnant and stay up at night and spend time with the baby, I don't care how many times it wakes me up, but I know, your body...
No, you said that so many times.
I know, but
I
know my body, you can't just, run off and no sleep. I'm going to have to get sleep. So I feel like as long as, you can take a little bit of time off of work and, I'm fine with getting up more in the night as long as, during the day you can kind of let me get my naps in and take care of the baby.
Well, why don't you and the baby just get on the same sleep schedule? Because babies sleep a lot, right?
Well, yeah, but it just depends on your baby, too, and then sometimes they'll get colicky and they'll just cry and cry and cry. It's like where their stomach hurts, and then sometimes they have to be on like medicine, but it doesn't always work, and they're just crying because they're hurting, and there's just so many different things. And some babies are just nightmares. Like, they just don't want to sleep. They're fussy. Some babies are really great. People have a first baby and they're like, wow, it was so easy. Then they have a second one and like, what the heck? Or vice versa. First one's really hard and then the second one's really easy. So it just really depends.
Oh, man.
I'm probably going to be crying a lot. And I just feel like, I've had some friends where it's been really great and some friends where it's been really hard. And I think even my sister knows I'm going to be one of those ones that's going to be crying, saying, come help me, come fly out here and help me.
And you'll probably agree with this, but you're kind of a baby when it comes to stuff. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way, but you just kind of...
I know, I think it's just more of
you just, like, always need help.
You know, so babies, like, it's terrifying because, like...
Well, I'm just talking about in general.
I know, but I'm just saying, like...
Like today...
I'm just going to get nervous or I'm not doing something right and it's going to freak me out. Like, is the baby eating enough? Like, am I doing it right? You know, like, it's going to be really stressful. It's going to be hard, but we'll figure it out.
Do you think we'll take turns sleeping a full night without the baby, or we'll take turns in the night?
I don't really know if I like that, like, taking turns staying up in the night because, like, I have to breastfeed and stuff. So, like, it's not true. Like...
So maybe you can
just take over in the night.
Why don't you just... You should probably just go on the baby sleep schedule then. Because babies sleep a lot, right? They just don't sleep all at once.
Yeah, but it also depends on the baby. Once they get on a schedule, yeah, but...
Well, I guess we'll figure that out. Breastfeeding.
Nervous about this one?
Why?
Well, you already know I have sensitive nipples.
So you don't want it. When do babies get teeth? Because I'm sure that'll hurt if they start biting.
Yeah, that's not for a while till they start teething. But I already have really sensitive nipples, and now this is like TMI, but my sister got like really bad breast infections a lot, and it's really painful. And I'm, like, really scared for that part. Maybe I'll be fine. I don't know. I know there's, like, stuff, like, ointment and different things you can put on to, like, help them to prevent that from happening. But I'm just, like, nervous because, like, if they're already sensitive and then nursing, wow, it's going to be...
Well, can't you also, like, pump the milk, put it in a bottle, and then feed the baby?
Yeah, but, like, I'd rather just nurse if I can, like... I feel like a lot of people give up nursing because it's so hard, but I am determined. I'm not going to be that person where it's just like, oh, it's too hard, I'm not going to do it, because a lot of women do that, and it's like, okay, like, I get it's hard, but, like, you can't just, like, give up because it's hard.
Why? Is it better than bottle feeding?
I don't really know if I know that question, but...
Well, then how come you're so determined to not give up on it?
I don't know, because I just feel like it's just easier than just going straight to a bottle. Like, I'd rather just... I don't know. There's so many questions and things I still don't know that I'm still learning things, but...
It's probably a good thing we're doing this podcast, because there's a lot we haven't thought about.
I know. You guys need to, like, hit in the messages and start typing away, because...
Okay, well, it sounds like the plan for right now is just breastfeeding as long as... can, or I don't know, when do people normally stop breastfeeding? I don't even know this stuff because, like, I don't even remember when my siblings
There's kids that breastfeed till they're like 6 or 8 years old. I'm like, what is happening? Obviously, that's not happening.
Okay.
I at least want to breastfeed for at least like a year if I can. If not, then I'll just... I mean, I'm still gonna pump. So actually, the baby probably will need to be on a bottle. Because I'm going to have to pump, like, especially if, like, I have to travel or go somewhere, I'm going to have to pump and put it in bags and save it. So I guess the baby will bottle feed too, but also breastfeed. I don't freaking know. This is, like, terrifying.
We don't freaking know. Okay, next one. Baby crying. This is the one thing
I haven't thought about this much.
I have.
Hold on. I haven't thought about this much stuff. Like, I've thought about it, obviously, but it's like I haven't really sat down and, like, gotten all the answers or, like, really sat down and talked to my sister about it because, one, I've been so sick. Then, two, we just went to American Ninja Warrior and we're gone for that. And right now I'm just trying to figure out our gender reveal and setting up all these things. And I'm graduating. My parents are coming out and my sister. And so it's like, my mind's not even on, like, all those things yet. And, like, I've kind of started a baby registry, but, like, obviously there's so many answers and questions that I have. So, or need to know answers and questions that I have. I need
You got to start
the
reading that
answers
book.
to my questions. We have been reading it. We've read a couple pages the other night.
Yeah, we still have like 400 pages left.
I know.
That's a big book. There's a lot about pregnancy.
All right. Okay.
This one, though, baby crying, that's the one thing. So I've never been a huge, I don't know, like kid person or baby person.
I do have to say, like, growing up being an aunt, I hated when the babies cried. Like, I just take it, give it back, you know, like, I love kids and I love whatever. But, like, when they were babies, it was just kind of like, I mean, I was never around a lot to, like, because I was still young and, like, hanging with friends and competing and traveling. Like, I was doing all that stuff when my siblings were having babies. So it's not like I was, like, and they were living a lot mostly on their own. So it's not like I was with them every single day to really experience all these things. But, you know, when they did cry, it's just kind of like, give it back. Here you go. You know, like, I love you. I'll love you when you're happy. And they start getting really fussy, and I'm like, okay, give it back. So obviously, I feel like when it's your own baby, it's different. But it's kind of like, you know, when we're sitting at church or at the grocery store and a baby's just, like, screaming their head off, I'm like, shut up. Like, I sound so rude, but I'm like...
Well, babies know. They know, like, the right frequency to cry at. That's, like, as most annoying as possible. Mello does it, too. It's just the most annoying sound in the world. So
because she knows it's going to get our attention.
Yeah, so what if Mello and the baby are going to have crying competitions?
She's sitting over there glaring at us like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so that's one thing I'm not excited for. So we need to figure out, before we have a baby, what do you do to get it to stop crying?
Yeah. And there's also, like, all these bottles. Like, there's different kinds of bottles with, like, different nipples on them that do all these different things. And I'm just like, I'm like, I don't even know what kind of bottle to get. I don't even know. There's just so many things. I guess it'll just be trial and error. See what works, see what doesn't, because every baby's different. But I was going to say something else, but I lost it.
Next one is deciding who will get to hold the baby right away.
Me. Obviously, I'm the mom.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind.
Baby's going to come out and they're going to put it right on me.
And then me. And then maybe our moms. I don't know. Or do you think you'll be protective over the baby?
Probably, but, like...
I think I'll just, like, because I've never, like, seen someone give birth, but I've seen pictures of newborn babies, and it's like, the whole thing just kind of weirds me out, like, giving birth, and, like, how is that thing breathing, and, like, you know, you just push it out of your body, and they have to snip the umbilical cord, and there's just a lot that goes into it that's like, oh, like, I'm glad I'm not a doctor. But, like, I feel like I'd be worried. Like,
yeah.
Like, babies, once they're, like, a few days old or even a day old, like, it's fine. But, like, they come out, they're all slimy. And, like, how do you know they're breathing?
Yeah.
And they're
scary.
crying. That part's kind of scary.
Well, and then I just get stressed because, like, you hope everything's okay and, like, your baby's okay, you know, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's so many things that can happen, like, after they come out, you know, like, days later, and I don't know, it's so scary. But God's going to give us our trials, so I guess we'll see what comes our way. But I feel like I don't want to say names, but I feel like your mom's going to be, like, really hoggy of the baby. Your mom's going to listen to this and, like,
hungry.
Well, yeah, I just feel like they're baby hungry, like, and obviously, like, my family doesn't live here, so, like, kind of different, you know, but it's also the first baby on your side, and I feel like your mom's just going to want to have the baby at all times and see the baby at all times. So I feel like it's going to like stress me out a little bit, but it'll be nice for them to babysit and stuff.
Well, I was going to say there's a plus, because the next thing we were going to talk about was babysitting. My mom has said she'll always babysit, and that's nice. And I'd much rather have my mom babysit than pretty much anyone else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my parents live close. You know, it's like a 45-minute drive, maybe an hour if there's traffic. When do you think you'll feel comfortable leaving the baby alone, though? Like, not alone, but with my mom or someone else to watch it. Like, if we wanted to have a date night. I feel like
kind of once I get the hang of things and like the baby's doing good and is drinking out of a bottle fine and I'm nursing like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of when like.
So like a few months?
Yeah, like when the groove feels right and like I feel like, okay, like I can leave the baby for a few hours and it'll be okay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever that moment will be.
I feel like that'd be hard on you. Because you're already kind of clingy.
Well, and I get really paranoid. Like, I just think of, like my siblings just, like, let their kids, you know, do stuff. And I'm like, I just, like, you know, and they're just like, oh, whatever, it's kids. And I'm sitting there, like, every second, like, when I'm hanging out, I'm just, like.
Stressing out.
Yes, the whole time. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to be a worrywart the whole time.
Well, maybe
it's going to give me warts.
Well, maybe having kids will help with that, because you're kind of clingy and you have separation anxiety and you worry a lot.
Yeah, but that's because of you.
That's not because of me. I get punished with that. So I'm saying maybe it'll help for you having a baby, and I don't know.
I'm just trying to think, like,
it's hard
how this is all going to go down.
I know it's hard to kind of envision it. Where will the baby sleep? We'll get like a crib right next to our bed, right?
So we'll have.
And then Mykayla's already trying to make me move stuff out of my office to make that the baby room. But when is the baby actually going to move in there? Not for a while, right? Because we'll probably want to sleep in our room.
Yeah, but we have to have all the baby stuff put together and all the clothes, and there's going to be lots of baby stuff, so we're going to need to put it in its closet. It can't just have a dresser. Like, there's stuff that's going to need
What am I supposed to do with my clothes?
We've already talked about this. You said you'd move them down here.
No, I did not. I said I'd move my office down here.
Okay, well, I don't know what.
I'm not gonna
okay, then you can go get us a bigger house. Like, you're the one that made us move into this house when we first bought it. So.
You could get rid of some of your clothes so I can actually use our closet.
We could, but
like a normal couple.
Alexa has 3 closets where they live.
Well, that's a great deal. We don't really have that sort of space.
Well, I'm just saying, with that whole closet that we have, it's like all her 3 closets put together.
Okay, but there's no way that I'm going to have my closet an entire floor below me. Like, you know how much of a pain getting dressed would be in the morning? I have to walk downstairs.
We'll have to try to figure it out, but...
Why can't this just be the baby's room?
Because I don't want to have to come all the way downstairs, and that's going to give me anxiety to have the baby down here and not by us. Because if somebody breaks in, they're going for that room first.
Okay, no one's going to break in, first of all.
And that room's just kind of small.
What are you most nervous about becoming a parent?
I mean, I feel like we kind of already talked about this, but just the first couple weeks are like... I feel like the most stressful for me. I'm just like really nervous about, because I know it can be really hard. So I think that's one of the main things that really stresses me out, is just, I mean, giving birth for one, like, I don't know, like, I've always just wondered, like, I'm so tiny, which I know I've had friends that are really tiny like me that get pregnant and have normal births, but then it's like, everyone's like, you're going to have a C-section. You're so small. And I'm like, that's kind of rude to say. Like, not necessarily,
okay, well,
but...
I know, you can't say you're going to have to, but, I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Birth just freaks me out. And then having the baby at first and just adjusting to the lifestyle and being up late at night and making sure it's eating enough and doing the right things, and it's just kind of scary. And then I would say just like being a good parent, like
Well, that's what I was going to say.
just teaching my kids like the right things and just hope that they have like a good life and grow up good, like
That's what I was going to say.
there's just so many things in this world that like, a kid meets a bad friend and then, next thing you know, they're on drugs and.
Well, especially because you say all the time, and you've said this ever since I met you, anytime something bad happens, you're like, I don't even ever want to have kids and bring them into this world.
Yeah.
You like overreact. Like one bad thing will happen.
It's just scary.
Like,
I mean, I
life
feel like
sucks.
I don't know if I've like really talked about on the podcast. I've mentioned on social media before, but I have a sister that's a heroin addict, and not gonna go like into the whole story. I mean, we probably can some other time if that's a topic or something you guys want me to touch on, but it just like seeing her growing up, obviously it made me be like, yeah, I definitely do not want that lifestyle. But like it's just sad and to like see like what my parents have to go through and like kind of how it is on us. But like me and my sister never really got along. Like she kind of always hated me. We just never got along. So like for me it's just kind of like, oh, like I have another sister, like it's so weird. But like we've also like started bonding more. She's in jail right now, and she's been calling me a lot through jail and like wanting to have more of a relationship. So like that's really cool. But it's just like really sad. And it's like there's just so many things that can go wrong, or your kid can make bad decisions, and you just got to be there to support him and love him. But sometimes I'm like, I don't think I could handle that. Like, like I just think like mentally and physically, like I would not. I'd just be like, okay, you're on your own, bye. Like it's just it's so hard thinking that I'm going to have to like adjust to different situations, and like how am I going to parent that, and because I don't want to be like too hard on them, but I don't want to be too easy, and I just want them to live like the best life, like live a life that I got to live, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Like, what I'm most nervous about, probably the first few days of having a baby. So, like, the actual giving birth, and then just the first few days of, like, adjusting to that life and how to take care of it and stuff. That kind of stresses me out. And then once the baby starts getting old enough where, like, it, like, learns and comprehends things, and it's like, then we have to start teaching it, and that's a lot of pressure.
I'm nervous about homework in school.
Okay, I wouldn't be nervous about that. It's not that bad.
I am, because I'm dumb as rocks.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I can do the homework if you change the diapers.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not able to help you with schoolwork. Sorry, it's not my forte.
What area do you think you need to improve in to prepare for the baby? I know mine.
Okay, you go first then.
Patience.
Yeah, you really need patience.
Because it's already hard enough with you sometimes. And so it's I feel like it's going to be even harder with the baby. So that's mine. That's what I need to work on.
Yeah. I think for me it's just being more educated and what I want for my child, especially like being in the hospital and giving birth and, different things that, I believe in what I want my child. So just being really educated in like the medical field and just being educated on birth, like I think it'd be good for us to go take some like classes and stuff, because I've heard that helps a lot and really like mentally prepares you for going into labor and stuff, and
That's a good idea. I like that.
I just want to be more aware and prepared for things. So I feel like I need to start doing that, and just I feel like the rest will kind of just come. Like you kind of just, you go through it. It's hard, but you learn. You get through it, and then you just keep having more babies, and you just figure it out. But I think my biggest thing is just being aware of my surroundings and what I want for my kids growing up, and standing up for that, and,
Yeah, I like that. Last question is, what do we think each other's biggest strengths will be with, like, being a parent?
You go
So
first.
So for you, I think your biggest strength is you'll probably just, I don't know. I think it's like you want to be a mom so bad, and I feel like you just have a big heart, and so you're just gonna be like just a great mom. You know, like you're just gonna love the kid. You're gonna take care of the kid.
I really mean that.
Yes, I really
Just
mean that.
kidding.
I don't know. I feel like, and like no one in
I'm
particular,
excited
but
because it'll give me something to do.
that too.
Like to have something to look forward to, and like
I feel like some people want kids like more than others, and you probably want kids more than anyone that I've ever met. Would you agree?
I guess.
Yeah, and so I feel like so when we have the kid, I'm just really excited because I know that it's gonna have a mom that really wanted that kid to be there.
I mean, obviously, kind of like you said with patience. I mean, there's a lot of things I think that you could be better at, and
Oh, thanks.
well, just with having a kid wise, but like, I think having a kid, you're really gonna grow and develop a better understanding, of like patience and, doing more, like helping out more. Cause like Jonas is like very independent. I can be independent, but like I really lean on you.
Like to.
Yeah, like I just lean on Jonas to do everything, and I'm just kind of like lazy. And so I feel like with having a kid, it will help you hopefully to kind of be like more willing to go out of your way to help, because like you do help and you do things. Like I'm not saying you don't, but there's times where I just get really frustrated and I was like, I wish he could be a little bit better at this. But like watching you kind of have that with Mello, even though she's a cat, like it's exciting to see how you react with Mello. So like I'm excited to see how you transition from like you babying Mello to like your own child. And like when we went out to eat one time, Jonas, he's been saying like, you're going to do the diapers. I'm not staying up at night. Just kind of like typical normal guy things that I feel like the first pregnancy, like that's just kind of how it goes. Like I feel like most guys just like don't really care and they don't feel like they want to help. And it's like, oh, you do it all. And when we went out to eat a while ago with his friend Dio, he was just saying like, because I kind of had said, like, I'm nervous, like, is Jonas going to help a lot? Because he just acts like, like, you're going to do the diaper changing, you're going to stay up at night, kind of like things. But, like, I know sometimes I feel like you're, like, over-exaggerating a little bit because I know, like, you're going to help. But even Dio was kind of like, look how he is with Mello. Like, because we were even talking about even if, like, we had a girl, like, Jonas is kind of like wants a boy because he has Mello and me already. So it'd be fun to have, like, a boy. And so he's like, but have you seen how he is with Mello? Like, she's a girl and he's obsessed with her and like loves her and she's a cat, like just the way he acts over a cat, like just wait till that baby comes out, he's probably never going to put it down. So like
that's probably true.
And like when you really think about it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I could totally see that happening. So I'm just really curious to see like how you're going to transition into a dad figure, like it's going to be really interesting to see how we mature a lot because like my sister always says, when you have kids, you just mature a lot more. And
that's for sure.
I don't know. I'm just excited to see like how we're going to parent and what we're going to do. And I've been telling Jonas, I'm like, our marriage is really about to be tested here. Like we're about to like probably want to kill each other over the next couple weeks after the baby's born. So I'm like, this is really going to test our marriage, so we just really need to...
I don't think it'll be that bad.
I
don't think it'll test our marriage.
I think it's good to expect the worst, because then maybe if it's not as bad, we'll be like, oh, okay.
The first trimester of pregnancy was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. I think
I want to know your guys' opinions, though, because I know every guy's different, but when I was going through the first trimester... and I was really sick and literally could not eat anything, I was sending Jonas to the store multiple times because I'm like, I'll try this. He'd go and get it. And then obviously like I didn't like it or it tastes good or something would taste good. So then I'd run out of it. I'm like, okay, like the next day, okay, go get me this. Or I feel like I could try this because like I'd be sitting on my phone and I'd see like someone eating this or something like this. And so then I'm like, ooh, that kind of sounds good. And then sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. So Jonas got really frustrated and like hated going to the store for me. That was like a big no-no. Like it was really hard for him to want to do that. So like I want to know,
I just wasn't happy about it.
Did your guys' spouse go and get you food whenever? Because I've had women be like, yeah, like in the middle of the night, I've had to have my husband go to the store and go get me things, you know? So like,
well, my problem was it's like the boy who cried wolf. Like the first time, I'm like, oh, I was super happy to help because I'm like, oh, this is pregnancy, like this is what you do. And then I got you something you like didn't even want it. I'm like, okay. And then that same thing happened like 3 or 4 times. Like, give me a cantaloupe, you never ate it. Give me a watermelon, you never ate it. Like,
the cantaloupe.
Give me something
Cantaloupe
salty, you never ate it.
To me.
That happened so many times that I'm like, there was a point where I was like, no, like I promise you're not going to want it when I get back. And then sometimes you'd still make me go. And so
but I'm just curious, like, did your husband drop everything to go run to the store for you 50 times, or did he get frustrated too? Because I know it was probably annoying because I hate going to the store. But I'm just curious, like, what other people's husbands did, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I just wish, like, he could go get me something. Or there's times where, like, in the middle of the night, you did, but there's times where I wanted more and I knew it wasn't going to happen. Like, sometimes I'd be laying in bed and I'm like, oh, I could use this right now, but we don't have it. And it's like, I know Jonas ain't going to go get it. So, like.
What are you talking about? I did all the time.
There were times where you did, but not.
Not every time. That's probably true.
I'm not trying to make Jonas sound bad. He still helped. He definitely helped me, but, like, there's just times where I'm like, okay, like, you could do a little more. Like, I don't think you realize how awful this is and how sick I am. He's like, didn't really get it. You, like, got it, but you didn't. Like, you're just kind of like, okay, like, can this be over now, And then it just never was ending.
Yep. Is that it?
Sorry, I feel like you're mad at me now.
No, that was just, that's good. I don't know. In conclusion, I think we'll be fine parents. Obviously, there's a lot we haven't thought about yet, so this is good. This will get us to start thinking about it. We're 15 weeks in. We've got
5 months to go.
Yeah, a little under 6 months to go.
My app says 5 months.
Okay, well, your due date is a week less than 6 months, so.
Well, I put my due date in it, so it knows.
And then it's rounding down because it's 6 months. Anyways, 6 months.
What are we in?
Are
we in April?
Excited to look back on this afterwards.
No, it's 5 months. We're in April.
Okay.
May, June, July, August, September.
What is your due date?
September 29th.
Okay, what day is today?
April 5th. Like whatever.
That's exactly a week less than 6 months. Yeah, but I could still give
birth early.
Yeah, you could give birth late too.
Okay, it's fine.
It is 1 week less than 6 months.
Okay. You're Mr. Know-It-All. I forgot.
No, I'm just.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll stick to my app.
Okay, but that means your app thinks that if you stick to your app, then.
Okay, but it told me to put in my due date, and I put in all the things.
Well, it's probably just rounding down.
Okay, well, I like that way better than you think.
Okay. So what's going to happen when the first week of September comes and you're not ready to give birth, but your app tells you are?
I know, but like when you count months, it's like we're in April, so that's like 5 more months.
Either way,
I'm not going by the exact day.
Whenever you do give birth, we'll have to come back and look at this.
Yeah.
The assumption today is kind of funny. Mykayla doesn't want to change any of the dirty diapers. I think you want to change the dirty diapers. Like you kind of, right?
I mean, I don't know if I care to change dirty diapers, but I'm fine changing diapers. Like, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I think it's going to be gross when a baby has an explosion and it goes all up the back and all over everything. Gross. I'm really curious to see how you're going to handle spit up.
I'm not going to like it. I can't
the
handle...
baby just spits up all over you.
I can't handle your spit up when you throw up every morning.
Also, what do you do after you feed a baby?
You burp it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And how would you burp a baby?
You put it on your shoulder and you just give it some wax. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen it done. I don't know the science to it.
I like the way when people have the baby sitting upright and you kind of put your hand under. It's like kind of like neck and face right here.
Why do you have to burp it?
Because it just makes its stomach upset if you don't and stuff. It's just better for it to like get it out, after it eats, burp it. I feel like I know this, but I'm just nervous to say things because I'm like,
well, I've seen it happen, but I've never really wondered.
Because I sound dumb.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. You kind of move stuff around.
And I think it helps them so they don't throw up. I don't know.
We don't know. We'll find out.
I feel like I do know, but it just makes me nervous because I feel like people are going to judge me like, she shouldn't be a mom. She doesn't know anything.
Well, I mean, we're still
I know.
5 months out.
I know.
So really 6 months.
Scary.
Anyways, that's all we got for you today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. As always, catch us every Friday with a new episode. And if you haven't seen our new YouTube video, we actually made a real YouTube video, like a real one, not just a podcast.
Yeah, we made a real YouTube video. We're back, baby.
Yeah, so anyone's guess when the next one will be, but we're going to work on that. We have some ideas. We want to do like some behind the scenes, some day in the lives of being pregnant, that sort of stuff.
I know. I was trying to tell Jonas to get more footage of me when I was really sick, but
no one would have wanted to see that.
Well, you don't have to get me throwing up, but just some of because it was just bad. Also, before we end real quick, I also thought it was really, really crazy after talking to multiple people how a lot of women get really sick with being pregnant and no one talks about it. I feel like it's like, oh, we're pregnant, we're having a baby, and then next thing you know, oh, we're having the gender reveal, and then next thing you know, oh, we're having the baby, and it's like, people talk about getting morning sickness, and I know, you throw up, and, some people can be worse than others, but, I wish more people talked about it because I feel like I would have been way more aware and, kind of understood, there's just, so many things I didn't know that could have helped me, too, eating small amounts and always trying to keep down, always trying to drink just little sips and all the things, and just trying to eat little bits every time because, once I started getting, 9-10 weeks, obviously I was starting to kind of get more hungry, and I didn't realize that I needed to, keep eating, little things throughout the day. It was just oh, I don't feel good. I don't want to eat anything. So then I'd go, the whole day, starving myself because, I mean, obviously sometimes when I'd throw up, or when I would eat, it would make me throw up, but, I needed to eat. And I just wish there was things that, I knew. So maybe we can do, if you guys want, we can do a podcast talking a little bit more about what I went through and what helped in different things, because that was a whole learning experience for me, and I wish more women would talk about morning sickness and what they go through. Anyway, that was just my little spiel, because that was surprising to me that women just don't talk about it. I'm what is with the world? Let's share real life,
I noticed that because
talk about it.
Because when I had friends that asked how you're doing, I'm like, oh, she's really sick, and they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, what do you mean, oh yeah? Why didn't you tell me? No one mentioned it, but then no one was surprised. They're like, oh yeah, you can get really sick. Anyways,
or some people didn't know at all. They're like, what? You're that sick? Friends that haven't had kids, So it's we'd never had a kid before, so I just never realized that this is how it was. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me rant. There's going to be a lot more ranting and more discussions about pregnancy, so follow along our journey. Go watch our new YouTube video. Glad to be back on YouTube. Don't know how often we'll post, but we're going to try to post and keep you guys updated on this journey. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.